Good afternoon, East Cleveland. I'm Mayor Brandon King. I am here with the Chief of Fire, EMS, Chief Mike Saliga, and our very own Councilman, Nathaniel Martin, who's the chair of our Health and Safety Committee. We are here today to give you an update on the coronavirus, what it means to the city, employees, our residents, precautions that are needed, and any updates that we have from the Center for Disease Control and the County Board of Health. I've asked our fire chief, who's over EMS, who's in constant contact as this thing evolves, constant contact with the CDC and the County Board of Health, to join us to provide us with that update. So I'll now turn it over to the chief.
Good afternoon. First we need to discuss, this is not a situation that we all need to be panicking with. As long as we continue to listen to what the CDC, our federal government, and our governor has implemented with the social distancing policies, it's not going to stop people from getting sick. It's just going to stretch the pandemic out so that we can see and treat everybody accordingly in the hospitals if they need to go. If we don't stretch it out, we will have such a great peak in the illness. We won't have enough beds to make accommodations for all the sick patients. So we're basically trying to do is stretch it out. The social distancing thing is a very key component of all of this. So I highly advise and I beg everybody to only go out when they need to for food and essential supplies from the stores, the pharmacies, stuff like that. Over at the fire department, we have taken great measures so that we aren't exposing people with the masks, the gowns, the glasses. We've shut down both of our fire stations to the public. We are constantly monitoring our guys, taking temperatures, following the guidelines that the CDC has put out. The policies the CDC has put out can be found on their website. I get them daily from the county. Emergency management has been open to the fire departments about the last 8 days now. Again, I can't stress enough keeping your groups small and not being in close proximity with people for extended periods of time. This is not the Ebola or anything where we're quarantining people to an island. This is more along the lines of, if you get it, you're self-quarantining, you're self-evaluating yourself. The only time you need to go to the hospital is if you are having a medical emergency that could potentially mean death. So the elevated temperature with flu-like symptoms, the hospitals really don't even want to see you. Come in, because they're not going to do anything but send you home and tell you exactly what I just said. Self-quarantine and self-monitor. Besides that, if you have any questions, feel free to contact my office. You can get the phone number off the city website, or it is 681-2413. Leave your name and number. I'll get back to you when I can. We are very busy next door with all of this, and we will continue to monitor it and do whatever we can to keep our citizens and our employees safe at this time.
Thank you, Chief. Before I come back, I'm going to bring in our councilman, and then I'll come back and let you know what we're doing, the steps we've taken here at City Hall to keep the employees safe. Councilman Martin?
Yeah, thank you. I want to thank the mayor and our fire chief, Mike Salika. I just want to touch on a couple of things. One thing I think we need to know is, over the last week or two, we keep hearing about this term pandemic. And I don't think a lot of people know what that means. And I broke it down very basically. A pandemic is an outbreak of a disease occurring over a wide geographic area and affecting an exceptional high proportion of populations. That means the populations not only in America or in East Cleveland, but all over the world. From the experts in this field, and that's the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the Cobb County Board of Health, the Ohio Department of Health, and you've been hearing from the governor constantly. And here are the key things I just want to outline very briefly. It says maintain social distancing, which Mike Salika talked about as they're basically saying 3 to 6 feet from someone. So be cautious of that. Avoid touching eyes, nose, and washing your hands constantly. And they're recommending that you wash it with hands and soap if you have to use a hand sanitizer. Practice respiratory hygiene. Cover your nose if you sneeze or cough, the elbow, and use tissue. Another thing they're recommending that if you have a fever, and Salika talked about that briefly, or cough, difficulty breathing, seek medical care. If you're traveling, avoid affected areas, and that's seek advice from your health provider, that's your doctor. Here's the issue I wanted to touch very briefly on, and that's seniors. Seniors are the most vulnerable. So they're saying for seniors, respect the rules, but they're saying and this is important, there are no vaccines for the virus and no drugs at this particular time. You're hearing from the President of the United States that there's not enough, what we're hearing is there's not enough testing equipment out here for everyone. So rethink your care plans. In other words, think about how you can care yourself and where you're going to go. This is important. Don't panic, but be prepared. The role of government is crucial. That's why I'm thanking very focusedly our Mayor Brandon King and our Fire Chief Mike Salika for having this public information for you guys. It is a pandemic, and they're saying, and the governor's been having briefings every day, it's going to get worse before it gets better. So you have to focus on your social distancing. Remember, there's no testing. Stay isolated if you can. Be careful. Dr. Acton, who's the health director from the state, yes, she's been on with the governor almost every day. Safety is crucial. Our role is to tell you to exercise common sense, and I want to thank Mayor Brandon King and Mike Salika for sharing this with the public. Thank you. Okay?
Thank you, Councilman.
All right.
So real briefly, I will go over a couple of things, measures that we've taken here at City Hall, the court, and council, which are your 3 branches of government. So we follow the lead from the state and the county on measures of operation. Tuesday, we went to a restricted use here in City Hall. No one is allowed in the building, in the depths of the building at this point. We are bringing in additional infrared thermometers to check employees' temperatures as the business of City Hall continues. The court, as I spoke to the judge, is still holding court services in a docket, a reduced docket, and he's only allowing people who have business with the court and their respective attorneys. So there'll be no visitors in the courtroom. City Council, I want to applaud the council president and all of City Council for holding a council meeting, it was that Wednesday night, in which some were in attendance and some were via phone. They put on there that it was closed to the public as a deterrent to keep the public from showing up. There were public who showed up and they were allowed in, as it is a public meeting, and it's a deterrent to keep the social distancing and to deter you from coming. But it was a public meeting. There were public people there because it's open to the public. That's all I have. We will keep you updated as this thing evolves and we get more information. I'd like to thank the Chief of Fire and our council at large, Nathaniel Martin, who's over health and safety. That concludes our update from City Hall. As always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call my office, 216-681-2208. And we will provide you with any information that you may need. Thank you. God bless you. God bless East Cleveland.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.